Hello and welcome to another edition of Tribulation Ready Survival. This is our video on ideas to stay cool when you have no electricity. Whether you're out in the field or whether you're at your home, when it's hot, you have got to keep your body cool. Heat injuries are nothing to mess around with. So we've got some ideas that we came up with and we've tried and we know that they work. Currently, just so you know, it is very hot in here. I've got the garage door open. There's not much of a breeze. It is currently 95 degrees and climbing at about noon. First part of July. It's July 6th today, 2022. And we are currently under a heat advisory. So this is version 2 of the video. Here's the deal. In a SHTF situation, if you want to call it that, or a survival situation when it's really, really hot, you got a couple things that are a priority. Okay? Number one is shade. Okay? You need to slow your roll down, if you will. Bring your workload down to almost nothing. You need to drink lots and lots of water, okay? And the way to determine that is if it's hot and you're consuming water and you've got a good water source, you need to be consuming enough water that your urine is clear, okay? Any other color and you're starting to get dehydrated. Plus, if you're thirsty, you're beyond the point where you're starting to get dehydrated. Your body doesn't catch up to that fast enough, and so your thirst is like a second thought or an afterthought to you. You should not be getting thirsty. And so during the shooting of this video, I am going to be consuming quite a bit of water, and I'm sweating like crazy. You might notice here in a minute, I'll show you that this shirt that I'm wearing is a synthetic fiber shirt, and it's long sleeved. I'll explain that to you here in a few minutes. So here's what we decided to do, and the reason we started to do this video. So I was praying to God about the videos that we've been putting out, and I wanted to put out some quality videos. Hadn't had a whole lot of inspiration, if you will. And so I prayed, I said, God, please give me some ideas, something to do, because I'm working for Him. Give me some ideas, something to do videos on, and I'm sweating like crazy. And so a couple weeks ago, we posted on the Facebook page that our air conditioner broke. Absolutely, it broke. Like, it wasn't working, and it was, again, a heat advisory outside. It was going to get real feel 105 with the humidity and the heat. And we suffered through it. We came up with some ideas, and they work. There may be so many other ideas out there, but these are the ones that I can tell you we've done, and they work. Okay, and they're simple. They all require a little bit of water. Which, if that's scarce, the best thing you can do is look for shade and do as little as possible. As stated earlier, I told you I'm wearing this long sleeve shirt. It's a synthetic shirt. I wear it fishing a lot. I wear it outdoors all year round. I wear it in the summer and I wear it out in winter. It's a nice underlayment because the synthetic fiber wicks the moisture away from my skin, cooling me off, but also keeping me dry underneath here pretty fast, pretty well. And it protects me from the sun. So that's how this shirt works. And that water gets pulled off the skin and evaporates out and starts to cool your body. And I can feel it working right now. Just the air movement in here, what little bit there is, I can feel it sucking the heat away from my body. But it's still hot. I'm sweating like crazy. So if you're at home or if you're out someplace and you have the ability to create your own fan, that would be a way to maybe make it a little more comfortable. Been used for hundreds, maybe thousands of years. Fans to move the air. Air movement is really, really important. If it's hot outside and sunny and no breeze, generate your own. It's going to burn a few calories. And I got some things that I've used here. This is something that I was using in one of my previous videos to grow seedlings, saplings, seedlings. And you can generate air this way. And that feels pretty good. That feels pretty good. Even like the old time fans that are on a popsicle stick or whatever, those are nice. But just anything. Anything you can get to move air. I've got that one. This is the bottom of a cookie tray that we got some cookies on from the store a while back. You can just sit in a chair and cool yourself off. This thing's moving lots of air. It's incredible. That's nice. That's really nice. But it gets better. This will work. It also helps the moisture dry up off your body or evaporate off your body and cools your body down. But it's okay, and it works. Same thing. Maybe you got totes or storage totes around the house. This will move a lot of air. And you can have somebody fan you like this. I mean, this will move a whole lot of air. I don't have, it's just me. But this will move a whole lot of air. It'll get your whole body cooled off. Okay? We'll come back to these in just a minute. So, movement of air is important. Even if there's no breeze outside, you want air movement across your body to evaporate the sweat that you're going to accumulate. If you don't have sweat evaporating off your body, that's a problem. That's going to be a big problem, and you need to figure out how to get that off of there, whether it's dabbing a towel on there or something. Because there are times, especially here in Kansas, where it's very, very humid. It's just rained, and now it's 100 degrees outside, and it's like a shower, a sauna. And the moisture off your body is not going to evaporate in that high humidity unless you have air movement to make it happen. And that brings us into the next section that I wanted to discuss with you. A better way, a little bit more intense, but not much, better way to cool your body. Okay? The blood flows from your heart in everybody's body. The blood flows from your heart up and around and through. Comes up through your carotid artery and into your brain. You've got to get that core body temperature regulated, cooled off in the heat and warmed up in the winter. But you want to cool that blood coming from your heart as much as you can before it gets into your brain. Because if you start having a heat injury, heat stroke, or whatnot, then that's part of the reason is because you've either run out of water, or the water isn't evaporating enough, or the blood that's in your body is hot, and your brain will swell. Okay, you'll have problems. Maybe I'm having brain swelling. No, but you want to cool the blood off before it gets to your brain, or while it's in your brain, and it'll go to the rest of your body. This right here, when the blood comes out, is where you want to do a lot of the cooling at, your core. Okay, so here's what we're talking about: evaporative cooling. Okay, this is evaporative cooling with what you have. If you have sweat rolling off you, then you can dry it off that way. But here's another idea. As stated earlier, the air temperature outside is currently 95 with a very high humidity, which makes it about 105 degrees real feel. Okay, so what I've got here is I've got a bucket of water. It could be a bowl, it could be anything, but this is just a bucket of water, and I've drawn some outside temperature water into this out of my garden hose. So it's probably a little bit cooler than the outside. But let's see how this, I got a thermometer here. We're going to see what the reading is. I'll stick this baby in there. We'll see what the temperature is. The water temperature is going down. I don't know if you can read it, but I can read it. It is now 70 degrees. The water, 71 degrees. Okay, so you can see that. 70, 71 degrees. So the water is actually cooler because it was down in the ground. It's cooler. Okay, so here's the three options that I have at my disposal. I have a microfiber towel I bought at the dollar store. Again, that's about $1 or so. And it's cheap, but it's a microfiber, and it doesn't hold a whole lot of water, which is fine because I want it to evaporate. This is an old bath towel, and this is a dish towel. It's smaller, same material, cotton. Okay, so I'm going to stick these towels all down in here. I'm going to let those soak up for just a little bit. And so what I'm going to do is, to get this to work right, you don't want these soaked. You don't want them just dripping. Okay, it's messy. It wastes your water, which is a resource that you don't want to have to keep looking for. And once you do this, you don't want to drink this water. It's not going to be something you want to drink. What I've got in here is water. Okay, I wouldn't recommend using anything other than water unless it's a dire situation. I wouldn't necessarily use urine, but if that's all you have, then that's all you have. But yeah, I would recommend using water. It doesn't have to be clean. This is out of a garden hose, but you could use pond water. You could use water from a puddle. You're not going to be consuming this. It doesn't have to be clean water. So I have wrung out the cloth. So we already know that the water temperature in there is 70 degrees. Okay, the water temperature, and it feels good. I mean, it's cool. It's appropriate on a hot day like today. But I want to cool this a little bit better. I want to do a better job than that. Okay, you can sit here and do numbers like this, and that's kind of nice. You can feel the cool breeze. You can fan yourself with it. Okay, that feels pretty good. That's even cooler. That's getting the fan and the air on here. Okay, you can fan yourself with a cool, moist, not drippy cloth. Okay, that feels pretty good. But like I said earlier, you want to try to cool down the blood flow in your body from your heart to your brain and then the rest. So to get this to cool down faster, I'm going to just whip it. It's like this. Spin it around nice and fast, and then stick it around my neck. And that's even cooler than it was down here when I was just swinging it. And that feels nice. It's evaporating off of my body, off of my neck, and you can still get some on your head, but you're cooling off this core area right here, okay? Remember, heat rises and cold sinks. So the coolness from this is actually going down into your body, not up, and cooling off everything that goes by it. And then once it warms up again and you can swing it just a little bit, put it back on there. It doesn't take much. And if you're stuck in your house like we were, this is something that's nice and easy and not messy and will work pretty well. And you've got water coming from the spigot, so you're good there. If you're out in the field and you got a little bit of water, again, don't waste it. Get it on your cloth, get it on any sort of cloth, anything, and cool yourself down. Get the breeze blowing there, and then put it back on. You can cover your head, but here's the one problem with covering your head. Now, when you do this, it does feel nice to begin with, but this actually is inhibiting the heat from getting out of your head. It's actually not as good as dabbing, which feels great. You don't want to cover your head, which if you have a hat, take that off. It'll help keep your head from getting sunburned, but it's actually keeping in the heat. Okay? You don't want to do that. This is what you want to do. And then put it around your neck. That is wonderful. Okay? This feels great. These microfiber cloths are cheap and wonderful for that purpose. Here's the same thing with a dish towel. It's just an old dish towel, dish rag I have. And again, it feels nice. It feels nice, and it's holding water pretty well. It's holding a little bit too much water, I think. I've wrung it out, and the microfiber held less water, which made it cool a little bit more. But I can still do it with a dish towel. Even the air feels nice when you're whipping it around. However, this doesn't seem to work quite as well. So now we're up to the bath towel. Now, I've wrung this out pretty good. Unfortunately, it's just really big and bulky, and you can't wring out all the water, and so it's messy. It's dripping everywhere. If you're outside, hey, that probably would work okay, but if you're in your house and things are getting messy, it's just one more mess you gotta clean up, okay? But this, again, doesn't allow the air to flow through it very well. It's not cooling like I would like it to. Is it comfortable? Absolutely. Is it big? Absolutely. And if you've got a big area to cover, like your whole body or your whole back, this might be an option for you. Again, on this shirt, I can feel it evaporating off the shirt, and it feels good. So, good idea. And now my shirt's sort of wet, but it's evaporating off of that. I can feel it. But this is already soaking up a lot of heat. I can feel it getting warmer as opposed to this microfiber here, which seems to be getting cooler because it has less water in it. The more water you have, the harder it is for it to evaporate. So those are the 3 ideas I came up with that. Okay, so that brings us on to trying to keep the next idea we had was trying to keep our pet. We have a puppy, and we had to keep her cool. And the temperature out here is just going straight through the roof. So my daughter came up with the idea. She had a dollar store sprayer, brand new, and she decided she was going to mist the dog. And she would mist the dog all along her body, and she would rub it in down to the skin, and it would evaporate away, cooling her off. And it worked really well. The dog, the puppy, actually enjoyed it quite a bit, and we found out that she likes to have the squirt in her mouth, which encouraged her to drink more water and cool off via urination too. So that was just the way that my daughter came up with for our puppy, and it worked well. I don't know what you would do for other pets. You'd have to be creative. This would definitely work on the top of a hamster cage or something like that. Maybe if the air was flowing through there, I'm not sure. But evaporative cooling is a great idea, and that's probably what you're going to have to do in a survival situation. That's what I'm planning on doing. I've done it before when I was in sub-Saharan Africa. I used a lot of evaporative cooling. Okay, so those are the ideas we came up with. I'm sure there's hundreds, maybe thousands more ideas for staying cool when it's hot outside and you don't have any power or you're in a survival situation. So let's just recap real quick. If you're in a survival situation or a no power situation, you want to do as little as possible, find shade, stay cool one way or another, a fan, evaporative cooling this way, and drink plenty of water if you've got it. So, with that being said, I thank you for spending time with us today here at Tribulation Ready Survival. Please continue to be social with us by leaving comments down here. Subscribe if you have never done that here. And also check us out over on Facebook.